to be a courteous dog in society, what would they be?
I think house training is really important. Most people agree with me.
Right.
And then generally sit is an important behavior. And then something that we call bite inhibition, for dogs to understand where their teeth are and where they end and where your hands and your skin begin, so that they learn not to accidentally use their teeth on your skin.
Okay. Good Lord, how do you do that? How do you teach
You
dogs?
play with them, and a lot of it is already when they're babies, if they're left with their litter mates and their mother until 8 weeks, which is a law. That's why it is a law, so that it helps them with their development. And then you can easily teach them by playing with them, and if their teeth touch your skin, you stop playing with them. And when their teeth don't touch your skin, you reward them and keep playing with them. So they're like, oh, well, when my teeth don't touch human skin, good stuff happens, and when my teeth do, the fun stops.
Does that take a long time for them to understand?
It is a process. It's not something they're going to get in a day. It's not something they're going to get necessarily in a week. What I tell my clients is you want to see that the mouthing gradually decreases. So as long as you see that it's gradually decreasing, you know you're on the right track.
Okay. So we've talked about not going to the bathroom in the house, not biting people or your friend, doggy friends. What would be next as far as if you want to go out and about with your dogs?
It's absolutely imperative that the dog is socialized. So it's really important that they know how to go around people and are comfortable being around people, children, tall people, people of different ethnic groups. Dogs need to be exposed to all of these things, and you don't want to just expose them, you want to expose them and give them cookies and play games. So just exposing a dog is not ideal socialization. You want to pair the exposure with fun stuff.
Okay. Does that mean taking them out places where there are lots of different people and things like that?
Taking them out, but don't overwhelm them, right? Socialization should be fun. So you expose them for short periods of time and kind of create baby steps. So, first you meet one person, then you meet two, then you meet three, then you meet a small group, then, and you gradually build it up. You don't just take your dog to the mall and have 20 people rush your dog. That's a really great way to actually do the opposite and not socialize them.
That's great information. Okay, so how about basic leash training?
That's an excellent thing. A wonderful thing has happened in the last 10 years or so. Lots and lots of really wonderful tools have been invented by good-hearted people. There are so many harnesses available now. I highly recommend front-end attachment harnesses. They attach to the front of the dog's chest, and when the dog goes to pull, they simply turn them. So it's very humane. There's no danger of a collapsed trachea. There's no danger of damage to the eyes because of excessive pressure on the neck. So harnesses are a really great tool.
What about if a dog still lunges? Is it?
So there's lots of fun ways you can teach a dog to not pull on leash. The first thing is you don't want to reward it by accident. So a lot of times what happens is your dog's pulling you and the people follow. And so you're teaching the dog to pull because you're pulling, and then you walk behind them and they're like, hey, it works. And it's kind of a fun game. So instead you can teach the dog to sit intermittently, or you can teach the dog to just keep that leash loose by staying in kind of an area next to your body that we call the hot spot. So if you stay this kind of area, cookies will sporadically fly out of the sky and good things happen. So why wouldn't you want to make that happen?
That was like basically heel, what heel used to be, kind of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Heel would be a more precise version of that.
Okay. Okay, so how many have we done here? 5, 6?
I
need a
think we've
couple
done
more.
5.
5, okay. What else do you got?
What else have I got? It doesn't all have
Well,
to
how about
be...
lying down? Do they need, the recall?
Yeah, coming when called and
Yeah,
stay,
yeah.
we should definitely talk about.
Okay.
And then maybe door bolting could be another one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's really dangerous.
Yeah, when you're trying to get in the house. And
they bolt out the door. So coming when called is incredibly important. The most fundamental thing to coming when called is you got to make it fun. And you can't ever be angry at your dog. No matter how long it took him to come, you need to throw a party. So imagine you're in your pajamas and your neighbors have seen you run around your neighborhood, but your dog finally comes to you. You need to praise your dog and reward your dog, because if your dog does not associate you and your hands with good things, you're in big trouble. That's actually a way to cause biting and to cause aggression. So that's incredibly important. So coming when called is always followed by something wonderful. Another really important life-saving cue is stay. So important to teach your dog to freeze. So it's a really fun way to teach them to freeze, is to have them sit and give them a cookie and give them a cookie and give them a cookie. And they're going to be like, whoa, what just happened? And they're kind of going to freeze just because they're like, whoa, 3 cookies in a row. What just happened? And so then you can capture that freezing because the dog's going, whoa, I was just sitting, not doing anything, and cookies flew out of the sky. And then you start to delay. So you do a cookie and you wait, and you give a cookie and you wait, and you make that waiting period longer and longer and longer. Then you can start to add your motion into it and teach the dog that even if I'm running away from you, you can remain frozen.
Wow. Can that last forever, stay?
Training, that's an excellent question. I love that question. Training does not last forever. It's not like riding a bike. You do need to refresh their memory. If you don't sporadically reward the behaviors, they are going to disappear. It's like managing people. If you don't pay them sporadically at least, they're going to disappear on you.
Okay. All right. And door bolting the door, that's pretty much stay, isn't it? Is that similar?
But there's a really interesting component to door bolting because you want to use something called an environmental cue. You want the dog to understand that when your hand touches that doorknob, that is the cue for you to maintain a position or to stay in a certain area. A lot of my clients will use a natural threshold like tile or carpeting. And so it's really easy if you have a substrate change right by your front door where there's tile right at your front door and before that there's carpet. So you teach your dog, you wait on the carpet if I touch the doorknob. And then money flies out of the sky. And there's all these wonderful remote training devices now. You can order a manners minder. You can order an excellent tool called a pet tutor. And you can have it hooked up to your phone, all kinds of things. You can have a remote in your pocket. So you can literally be greeting your guests and training your dog at the same time.
That's awesome. I think we've got 8. You think we have 8?
I'm pretty sure that was 8.
One more thing, the most important question. Can old dogs learn new tricks? And how do you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is something called matching law. So I always tell my clients dogs are like like a computer in a way. And their brains are programmed with everything they've ever learned, all the things we didn't want them to learn and all the things we did want them to learn. So if a dog has not been house trained and they're 8 years old, it's going to take a little longer for them to be house trained, but they can still learn it.